wind it up. Right, run it on. Wait, don't wind down. Ako yung biasa, ako yung biasa.
Tonight's show we are back in Mauritius. Mauritius is probably the most popular international destination for South Africans. It's a great holiday destination, and when you picture Mauritius you think about that beautiful blue water, the white sand, sort of hotels right on the beach, room flow pools almost on the beach as well, and it has a whole lot of that scattered all around the island, and it really is a top holiday destination. It has everything that anyone going on holiday could ask for, and topped up with that is it has some great fishing too, which we experienced while we were there. The tournament was run out of the La Belize Marina. It's quite a new marina right there by Black River. Really spectacular spot to run a tournament from, and very, very well laid out. Great place to be.
Right, we once again coming out of Black River this morning in the Mauritius International Billfish Release Competition, and we've got a stunning day this morning, and yeah, we're back out fishing on Mona 1 and gonna get those babies in the water, and hopefully Francisco can put us on another bite today. So only one thing left to do. On the way. Yeah, yesterday when we were fishing there was a lot of wind. Obviously the conditions are a lot calmer today, so apparently it doesn't make a difference here. We would much rather have the conditions with no wind, so have a good sleep maybe too at some stage. Just when you think things couldn't get any better, our Francesco, the captain, handed me a cup of tea, so that's how you marlin fish. Okay, when we marlin fishing, quite often you'll see us use elastic bands. Some people like to use roller clips in their outriggers, so the line will go from the rod back up to the outrigger and back down to the lure. It's just a matter of personal preference. Personally, we like to use tag lines. So what that entails is the line going from the top of the rod out to the tag line, which comes off the outrigger, and then down to the lure. And many times you have to attach that with an elastic band. So if you keep putting it on the line all the time, and it does happen, the elastic can actually damage the line a little bit. So you'll see quite often we've got a piece of Dacron that's over the nylon with a little loop on it. And what that does is you can attach the elastic band to that loop and then attach it to the outrigger clip, and then you can adjust your line where you want it in the water. Where if you put your elastic just over the line and you can't adjust the distance, you have to take the elastic off, check it again. And sometimes you can't judge the distance correctly from the deck level. You need to let the line up so it goes up to the top of the outrigger to see if the lure is swimming properly. So this makes life a lot easier. There's a couple of little tricks about getting it on, but it's really simple and straightforward. So we're just going to go through how to do that. Okay, so we need a 30 centimeter piece of that 80 pound Dacron to go over the 130 pound suffix. Okay, just to start off, you need to take one end. Quite hard to explain, but once that Dacron is spliced onto your line, there's no ways of heating that end without damaging the line to stop it fraying, so you've got to do that first. So you just take a hook and you open up the Dacron like that. You take your lighter and then you just heat the ends. What the hook does is just keep the Dacron open like that. Otherwise, if you lit it without something in there, it would just close up. So now you got that, the ends are nicely sealed off and it's open. Okay. The next thing you need to do is take a little piece of, this is just fishing wire bent over, and you're going to make the loop that your elastic band will attach to. So you just go in there with a wire, make it about 5 centimeters long. And put that in there, come out, and then take it through there and then just put it back through. All you're doing is splicing a loop in for the elastics. You can make it quite big. The bigger it is, the easier it is to work with, like that. Okay. Then you pull a bit extra out, take the lighter, heat the end. Before it gets cold, put it up to the Dacron there, and then just pinch it over, and that's it, set, done. Okay, now you need to take your 130, your wife's nail file, careful you don't get caught with it. Make that end nice and smooth, and what that allows a nylon to go into the Dacron really easy without catching anything. Okay, there we go. And now it's quite tricky to get that nylon into the Dacron just by itself. So you take the hook, again, the hook's quite useful, and you just open that up a little bit. Okay, got a little hole there, and then you splice it inside. Okay, just work that piece of Dacron up. Once you get it going, it's really easy. It's just a bit of a trick to get it in. Alright, there we go. Now you can see why you need to melt that in before you put it on the nylon. And once that's in the outrigger clip there, like that, then that'll hold on and you can just adjust it. It's very easy, so quite a nice thing. Okay, the next thing, the last thing I'm going to show you is how to do a bimini twist in 130 pound nylon. It's quite tough because it's really hard stuff, so the best, well personally the best way I've seen to do it is in the rod hold of a boat. So we've got the back of our FreeSpool sports fisher here. So just take, so length 1.5 meters, put it down to the ground and then tighten up your drag, Tiagra. Okay, then we do 17 winds. You can do as many as you like, we just like 17. Okay, there we go. Put a bit of loop. Put that through your foot. Okay, and what this allows you to do now is put pressure on using your shoulder, because this line is really, it's pretty tough. So take 2 wraps around your hand, put your finger down and just pull it up and then make your bimini. It really makes a difficult thing really easy. Once again, wet the one side of the nylon, do 1 half hitch. And then once you're done your half hitch, keep the tension on and then just do a nail knot. 3, 4, and take the tag in and wind it. 1, 2, 3. And then you pull the tag in. It's nice and neat and tight. There you go. Very easy and very effective. Personally, I like to leave a longer tag in. So I like to make it about 5 centimeters long. And it's not for the knot coming undone, it's just the shorter that gets, when it gets through the eyes, the stiffer it gets. So that goes through the guys really gently. And yeah, it's just nice, and it's got nothing to do with it coming undone. It's just, as I said, to go through the guides more gently. That's it. Got your double line ready to put your wind on leader on. And then you got your bit of Dacron to set in the outrigger, depending on the distance you want that from the boat.
The tournament itself was split up into 2 days fishing, a rest day, and then another 2 days fishing. We managed to get a good marlin on the first morning within sort of the first couple of hours, which is a great way to kick things off. But unfortunately for our team, we had a couple of fish come up, a few swirls, a couple of follows and that type of thing, but marlin fishing can be a bit frustrating at times. You draw round and round and round hoping for something to come. Some of the other teams though did have quite a bit of success. There were a lot of hookups reported on the radios, and as most people know, from hookup to land ratio is somewhere between 20 to 40%. So, to have 4 or 5 marlin caught in a day, you need to hook 10 or 12, and that's pretty much what happened, and it just wasn't our day. Generally in Mauritius, the smaller marlins, to sort of between 150 to 400 pound fish, are what are around now in the summertime, and they're really big 700s, 800s, granders, those come in wintertime. It was quite interesting to see that during the tournament there were some of those very, very big fish released, which kind of makes you think that they don't actually go anywhere. It's just there's an infiltration of quite a few small fish which kind of get to the lures first, but those big fish are there almost all year round. The guys released a good 700 pound fish, 800 pound fish, and unfortunately while we were there, one of the charters managed to catch one of 927, which they killed, which it left a bit of a bitter taste in everyone's mouth, because we were all pushing for the release and to try and keep those fish in the water, and yeah, it's unfortunate to see that big girl hanging on the game tree.
Right, we just left Lebanese Marina, Black River, and we're gonna probably fish off Le Mans this morning. Yeah, we fourth day into the competition. Everything's lying even at the top of the leaderboard, so we got a good chance. We're gonna put our lures out, and hopefully our team can put us in the right area. So fantastic looking day. Here we go, there's one of our favourite all-round lures, that Fathom Calico Jack, Scarlet Pimpernel. It's called the Arctic Bonito. And he's caught quite a few marlin in quite a few different countries, so it's a pretty standard colour, and it's a good one to have in the spread at all times.
In previous tournaments in Mauritius, there has been a small release element, but basically it only involves a small fish. So there are some tournaments where if you catch a fish under 200 pounds, you have to release him and you get the points for it. But anything over that gets killed and hung up in the gantry. And this is the first time that they've had a tournament that is all release, and they also release some of those huge fish, like those 600, 700, 800 pound class blues. So it's a great initiative, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens in the Mauritius fishery in the next couple of years.
Right, we fished for 4 days here off Mauritius, and yeah, it's been pretty quiet. Obviously the cyclones affected the fishing a bit that came through a couple of weeks ago. But it's a great area, and we managed to land a really good fish. Pulled Theo's string and he pulled it back and managed to release it. And it's just really nice to see the guys here in Mauritius making an effort to start bullfish release tournaments, and hopefully that'll do a lot for the fishing here in the future. So yeah, look forward to coming back here next year and giving it another bash.
The tournament all wrapped up with a lovely dinner at Lux Le Mans, the resort right on the beach, just round the corner from the Black River where we launched from. It really was a fantastic event. Everyone who fished it was really happy with the way things went, and I think for the organisers it's a great feather in their cap, because everyone's kind of bought into their release system for Mauritius, which is great to see. Even though the tournament is pretty small as far as those international tournaments go, it was really good to see people like the guy from the Minister of Tourism from Mauritius there, and you know, people taking a real interest in the release side and the sustainability of their fisheries in Mauritius, and that can only bode well for the future.
South Africa again, fishing on 101. We'd like to call the captain Mark Delay from the team FreeSpool. Call now for the Blue Mountain release on the 27. A Blue Mountain estimated 300 pound, Theo Daly. The winner goes, the winning team is Mauritius, scoring the number of points of 2,200 points. We'd like to call the team, please. International tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm big applause.
Yes, it's very important is that, as I said, I personally had helped to build up something, and this thing is to start really protecting the marlins here and trying to encourage, as from now, that most even local tournaments go towards full release, and I hope that this tournament will encourage them here in Mauritius, encourage all of us to do this now.
Unfortunately, all good things do come to an end, and it's time to head back to South Africa. It's a great pleasure to go into a fancy new international airport, nice lounges and things where you can relax before heading home and dealing with work again.